Hi, Jackie. Hi, Anna. Hi, Agnes. Hi, Serena. Hi, Kasia. Welcome, everybody. The bowls really wanted to be part of the mix this evening. So we have 3 bowls this evening. Hi, Pam. Yeah, doing well, thank you. These are extraordinary times. Hi, Jonathan. It's just beautiful to have the opportunity to play with the sounds and to weave their magic with the roses. There's something that's really deep and ancient in the weave of the 2 energies. I've spoken before, I think, of the fact that the rose is pentagram, it's golden mean. She opens her 5 sepals as you would draw a 5-pointed star, and within that 5-pointed star is embedded the sacred geometry of the golden mean. Of course, the crystal kingdom doesn't come in a pentagram form. It always comes in trigonal, cubic, hexagonal, octagonal, and amorphous. And so there is something that is really magical when the 2 energies start to weave together. And I find the sounds of the alchemy crystal bowls are wonderful carrier waves for the healing of the healing qualities of the roses. So when I'm working either in spaces, hi Julia, if I'm working with clients and working with the space alchemy, then I work with the roses and the crystal bowls. And also if I'm doing remote sessions for people, doing grids and so on, there is something that just sits really well with me. The calling to work vibrationally in this way just feels really beautiful. And there is just something magical and pure around the sounds of the crystal bowls, which seems to have a harmonic with the pure love that is really all that the roses bring to us. And of course they bring those energies to us to help us see what we might still be carrying that is not frequencing to love, and help us illuminate it, transform it, and to embed an even deeper connection with self, true self, that allows us this path of sacred homecoming. So it's a really powerful mix. Anyway, I digress, because we're coming up to this new moon, and it's a new moon at 18 degrees of Cancer. And here in the UK, it's about 2:30-ish on Saturday morning. And I was reflecting today, because we've had quite a lot of rain again today, that Cancer is of course a water sign, and no surprise then that there is emotion that is coming up on this wave of the new moon. New moons offer us another opportunity to look at the stories we've got running. They offer us another opportunity of through intention, setting a new beginning in some aspect of our journey. And of course, each one of us has got Cancer at some placement in our natal mandala. So it really is just a perfect opportunity for us to just review what's going on for us. Hi, Lisa. What is actually going on for us, and taking those few nice easy breaths to come really fully present to what's happening in this alchemical pot that we have as this gifted vehicle to journey with. Hi, Therese. Anna, you went to Rose Gardens today. The Rose Garden was the place of the secret trysts, of the connection to the beloved, and of course in the Sufi mystical tradition, the Rose Garden is that sacred place of the heart, of the connection to the beloved within and with the divine source. So the Rose Garden has a lot of symbolism to it, and also the heady scent of the frequency of the rose perfume. And we know that rose in its essential oil is the highest of the frequencies at 326 megahertz. And I think Jonathan's on the reading, and he is an absolute master alchemist with sacred oils, anointing oils. So he will probably be able to affirm that. But the rose oil was used for anointing, to bring the energy of when it was used to anoint kings and queens, to bring the consciousness up to the third eye, so that the king or the queen brought their absolute focus to the highest vision that they had for their people, for their community. So absolutely, this is a magical time for us, and it's a time when the more we can be fully present to anything that is coming up within that can give us an illumined path to bring anything that wants to be cleared, wants to be released into the new. Hang on a minute, I could see what Jonathan's written. And Jonathan says that he uses the combination of the rose frequencies, these rose codes of light, with his rose oil for his own work. So, these are just powerful times for us to find these sacred paths of homecoming, sacred tools that we can use that allow us to come back into love, back into this sacred connection to self. What I've really noticed as I was sort of tuning in to come to do this reading this evening was that there is a calling to really review our foundations, to make sure that we have looked carefully at anything that needs to be attended to in our foundations. Just like the roses that are in the garden, we need to have really strong roots in order to blossom. So the invitation with this new moon is to look and check and see, is there anything here that needs to be attended to, so that you are building, going forward on a really firm foundation in yourself. And that could be to do with your, your financial situation. It could be to do with your home, your location. Really check in and make sure that you are in the best place possible. If we rise up rooted, we are well aligned to weave the magical essence of Mother Earth, everything that she brings to us that sustains this physical vehicle, that enables it to be a vessel to hold and to bring the light down through, from source energy down through, and anchor these higher keys and codes of light onto the earth plane. I always see us as acupuncture points of light that have been perfectly placed where we are on the surface of the earth to do this work, this alchemical magic that allows us to be true pillars of light, to be lighthouses, to be radiant sources of light that are firmly anchored but totally open and open to the clearing process, opening to release, opening to see clearly anything that is now calling to be released, so that we know that in every point when we are able to own, take responsibility, allow these energies to change and move through us, that we can anchor even more light. We can bring even more light into every cell of our being. And I found over the years of working with the roses, and even prior to that when I was much more focused with pranic healing in my own path, that when, for instance, the roses, when they have touched someone so deeply that there are tears, that emotion comes forward, you know that something has shifted, something is being released on the water. So here we come back to the Cancer new moon, that whatever is released brings with it such a blessing, because we are able to hold even more light in that process. Ultimately, what I'm finding at the moment, and I don't know whether you're finding this too, there is a much faster manifestation of our thoughts and where our attention goes. So we have to be really aware of our frequency. Ultimately, it's all about frequency and relationship. And that relationship starts with ourselves. It is about coming into right relationship with ourselves that allows us to be in right relationship with others. So this beautiful moon offers us the opportunity for reflection, and it offers us this opportunity of setting a new vision, setting a new way forward that will ultimately enable us to attract more of what is in true resonance. You know, our heart is our attractor factor, and our attractor factor attracts to us the people and the experiences and the opportunities that are in resonance to it. We can only attract to ourselves that which is in resonance to us. And so therefore, even when challenges come across our pathway, and I've certainly found in the last couple of weeks that people that I haven't had contact or connection with for some time, sometimes years, have popped up on my radar. And it's been wonderful, because I've been able to review where I am in relationship to that person or that situation through a new lens. And all of us have changed. All of us cannot have failed to have been touched in some way or another by the journey that we've been through in the last 18 months as a collective. So these are powerful times to review, to realign, and to set a new vision for where it is that we want, or we're feeling drawn from our hearts. What's lighting us up, what still has a calling for us, that is our light going forward. It is the peace that is bringing us onto the aligned path of light. So shall we see what the roses have got to offer us? Because I'm feeling to do this in a different way. New moon, new beginnings. So it's an experiment, but I thought we'd try something different this evening and actually work a live rose reading with the wisdom that the roses have got to offer us. But you know, the invitation for you is to tune in and breathe and release, so that we can work with the roses to activate their highest activity for us on this new moon. And I think I've said before, when the energy's applying, when we're moving towards the exactitude of the new moon or the full moon, the energies are at their strongest. So this is the perfect time to do that sort of inner work, and also to perhaps journal or get really reflective about what this Cancer new moon at 18 degrees of Cancer. For me, it's directly conjunct my Uranus in my birth chart. So there is a sense of the unknown, the new, the electrical sort of energy, and also the possibility of surprises and U-turns. So I'm doing my best to keep as grounded as possible in the process. Anyway, let's see what the roses have got to say. So, our first rose tonight, Master Rose 3. And Master Rose 3 is the third one of the 3 Master Roses that weave the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine, and through their weave, and these are obviously energy currents that work through each and every one of us, regardless of our gender. These are currents of energy. And when you bring these into an alignment, which is part of the path of the rose anyway, the way of the rose brings us into this sacred weave of these 2 energies. So you could see that as the receiving and the giving. You could see this as the left and right hand sides of the body. In the Christic tradition, of course, if you bring a weave of the masculine, feminine, or the sun and the moon in an alchemical tradition, what is birthed is the 3rd element. And the 3rd element is the divine child. So the divine child for me is that pure, innocent, connected alignment to source energy. It's pure creation. We are creative beings from creator source. This rose called herself the Golden Flame. And absolutely what you see in a lot of the images of saints, for instance, is either a cobra on the head, or you will see a golden halo. This is the symbolism for this particular energy. And you'll see, I mean, she's absolutely beautiful. But she calls us into this holding of, in the more esoteric traditions, that would be called Hieros Gamos. It is the divine marriage within that lights and illumines the golden heart. And from the heart, as the heart weaves the lemniscape and illumines the flame, so the flame on the crown also lights. The crown can only open to the degree that the heart is. So when we bring balance here, there is an alignment through that enables us to sit in the center and be the golden flame. So I invite you to just tune into her, perhaps put a hand on your heart and just breathe with her and ask her to reveal for you anything that needs to be seen, that she is helping you to reveal around coming into that center place in self, coming into this aligned place of presence. So perhaps if we just take an easy breath in and out. And just sense her expansion and illumination on your heart. And feel the connection from the heart. And feel that energy rising from your heart up to your crown. And just bring your focus and attention to that flame on the top of your crown. That flame, that illumined flame on your crown, also activates your soul star. And your soul star holds the imprint of your I am presence, your own individuated soul self. This rose is calling you to sovereignty. She's calling you to align with that highest aspect of yourself. So if you have the Rose Oracle, this is a rose that you might wish to work with as you go through the rest of your day. You could also tuck her under your pillow and in dream time ask her for her wisdom and for her to illuminate for you anything that perhaps is calling to be cleared, calling to have attention, calling for a conversation, anything that is going to allow you to hold that illumined flame within. So again, the last nice breath in and out with her, and just hold that sense of her golden energy into your energy field. And let's see what other energies want to come forward to work with her. So, our second rose this evening is Rose 7. And Rose 7 sits on the solar plexus. And she reminds us of our luminous light, but also our fragility, if you like. This rose is so fine. She has this sort of sense of, almost a fragility about her, but she is absolutely light-filled, and you can see her golden heart. Yeah, so on the solar plexus, this rose reminds us that in our vulnerability is our power. Our true power is in owning our vulnerability, not masking it, not trying to put a brave face on it, not accepting that it's there, but actually turning around and facing those places where we feel vulnerable and actually owning them. Being able to love those places where we feel a sense of fragility or vulnerability. Because when they are fully seen, when they are integrated, no one can come along and blow us over. And it's very interesting that the solar plexus holds the heart wound of betrayal. So when we can understand what it is that is in the learning of our experiences of betrayal, or where we might have betrayed ourselves, then we can come into a deeper sense of connection and trust in our own innate wisdom, our own truth. What is interesting with this rose is that when she's working on the solar plexus, she works in the back solar plexus. And the back solar plexus also works with the pancreas. So there's something here that is connecting our ability to step into the sweetness in life, to be able to work with the way that our body processes sweetness and love. So when I'm working with her, she has a buddy. She has a buddy when she's working, and her buddy is Rose 9, and Rose 9 is a golden rose, a strong rose, and she sits in front of Rose 7 and protects her until the vulnerability is owned. And then Rose 9 sits behind Rose 7 and allows for the radiant light to be seen on the solar plexus. So, in working with this particular rose this evening, I invite you to just connect with her. Put your hand on your solar plexus or your heart. You can work either place. And just breathe this beautiful code of light in to either your higher heart or into your solar plexus. And ask her to help you own your vulnerability, own where you might feel vulnerable in your life. She is so beautiful and so graceful. She's soft, she's open. And when she's integrated and owned, she is a superpower. She is an ally. Because when we get that gut wisdom really defined, we can feel this is our center of personal will. This is our center of emotional truth. And actually, when we can feel a disturbance on the solar plexus, if we have the courage to not get defensive, we can breathe her in and ask for her support in understanding the story that is connected with the contraction or the energy that we can feel on the solar plexus. So you can start to see where she is actually supporting the alignment here. When we can come to this place of owning our vulnerability and see it as our power, and the solar plexus acts as a chalice that supports the energy of the heart. If our solar plexus contracts, the energy of the heart contracts too. The two work together. They have a dynamic relationship. So again, we come back to the fact that it is all frequency and relationship. And these energies, as they work through the body, help us to hold a strengthened resolve in understanding our script, understanding what might be still running in the storyline. So I'm just going to have a quick look at your messages. Lovely, lovely, Devan. And I know that I don't know if I can scroll back. I know Lisa said about Master Rose 3 that she tells her when she stays completely rooted, her energy rises up through her crown and she's able to stay strong. I can't see the rest of the message. But these are the messages that the roses have for us. You know, when you work with the roses and you really get to tune in with each of these roses, you get to understand that they really come with such a gift of love for us. And you know, as Jonathan was saying, when he's working with his rose oil and he's working with the roses, there is such comfort and support for those that are going through difficult times. But there is also such heart opening that is possible. And that's when the healing occurs. And so the third rose this evening, it's really fascinating. And as I say, it's the first time I've done it this way, is Rosemar 1. And Rosemar 1 says, I am magnetic. I attract to me all that is in resonance with the deepest calling of my heart. For in that is my truth and my power. And the Rosemar roses, the mother of the roses, which are the fifth set in the Rose Oracle, are qualities of the awakened and empowered heart field. They are energies to own. They are qualities to own and embody. And this rose says, I am magnetic. So this is where we move into effortless manifestation. You can see that the three energies actually have got a relationship. They are connected. When the golden flame is illumined on the heart field, it changes the frequency so that the frequency becomes magnetic and it illumines the crown. When we see Rose 7 and her offering us this way of empowerment through acknowledging our vulnerability, there is this place where the chalice of the heart opens. Ah, beautiful, Jonathan. He's saying that this rose calls him to inner silence, to connect with my own inner sanctuary. She's actually a rose called Crimson Glory. And she's the size of my hand. She's a massive, massive bloom. But the spin on her center calls us into that still space. She calls us into that inner sanctuary, knowing that from that inner sanctuary is the magnetic. Should keep my glasses on, I can read. Interesting. So Serena, you've got the different, I've had a conversation with my ex-partner, which is, I never imagined in a million years that I was going to do. So these are potent times to find these places where we recognize things have changed within us, and this changes the magnetic. And sometimes the soul, from the heart's calling, brings people from our past to us in order for us to see where the frequency has changed or where we can find another level of forgiveness. So these are just beautiful, beautiful ways of, yes, Anna, it's a triple spiral. and that is a super powerful ancient symbol. Gorgeous. So I am magnetic. So again, I invite you to put your hand on your higher heart, connect with her, just breathe her energy in, invite her energy in, and allow her to help you move anything that may be dimming your light or distorting your true frequency alignment to being magnetic. And you might just like to repeat to yourself on the in breath, I am magnetic. And on the out breath, just releasing anything that may be asking to release. Or you could breathe in and on the out breath affirm, I am magnetic. I attract to me all that is in resonance with the deepest calling of my heart, for in that is my truth and my power. So there we are. There's our 3 roses for this process this evening. And I hope that it has given you some insight and some ahas in the process. So we have Master Rose 3, the golden flame. She brings into balance the masculine and feminine energies in the body and illuminates the flame of the heart and activates the golden flame on the crown. Rose 7, who reminds us that in our vulnerability is our true power. And this is what allows us the shift within. And the 3rd rose is I am magnetic. I attract to me all that is in resonance with the deepest calling of my heart. For in that is my truth and my power. Even the smallest of shift changes everything. Everything comes in resonance. Just let the energies of the alchemy bowls carry those rose waves into you. Wow. Well, that was an interesting experiment. Thank you so much for joining me. And as I say, if you have the Rose Oracle, I really suggest that you bring these energies out this evening and just see how they want to work with you over the over this period as we move into the exactitude of the new moon. Just to say that the rose classes, if you want to learn more about the roses and how to work with the roses, the Rose 1 class is already activated online, and for those people that have signed up for Rose 1, I'm going to do an attunement and an activation process on the 21st of July, which is the eve of Mary Magdalene's feast day. So I'll be working with the Sisterhood of the Rose and Lady Nada to run a field of activation and attunement with the Rose codes on the 21st. And as I say, that is for those that have signed up for Rose 1 on the Rose portal. If you go to the Rose Alchemy website, you'll see the on the home page there's a thing about the activation and the attunement, and there's a link through there if you want to find out a bit more about the Rose classes. Really, they are incredibly powerful in so many ways, and so many people that have gone through the classes have said they've been life-changing in their path of healing and being able to weave the roses on a daily basis. What else have I got? I've got a new essence that will be on the website tomorrow, which will be called Integration and Activation, and it's the essence that was activated over the summer solstice and has been developing and incubating in the Rosie Temple since then. What else? And for those of you that are local that can get to me, I've actually got an in-person Mary Magdalene celebration on the 22nd, her feast day here, and we've got a lovely group gathering, and it's so exciting. It's going to be a whole year since I've done an in-person circle here, so I'm super excited about that, as you can tell. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and with love and rosy blessings, may this new moon offer you a new insight on your own journey. Bye for now. Bye-bye.